This is the Qlife Cityone Electric Bike, and I've been riding it long enough to sort out what works, what doesn't, and who should actually buy it. From my experience, this is a budget-friendly step-over e-bike that focuses on straightforward commuting and casual riding, with a few quirks you need to know before you hit the buy button. The setup was simple. It arrives mostly assembled, and the included toolkit gets the job done. I had to mount the front wheel, handlebar, pedals, and headlight, then go through a basic tune. True up the brake rotors a hair, center the calipers, and set cable tension. Nothing advanced, just the usual new bike settling. I also checked every bolt with a torque wrench, which I recommend on any shipped bike. Mine had a couple of bolts that were looser than I like. After that, it felt solid. Let's talk key features, because that's what most folks want clarity on. The frame is listed as carbon steel in the specs, and that matches how it feels on the road. Sturdy, slightly heavier, and very planted. There's a line in the store listing that mentions a lightweight aluminum frame, but in my opinion, that's a copy and paste mistake. The motor is a rear hub drive, listed as 750 watts peak. Think of peak as short bursts of power, with a lower continuous wattage, here noted as 500 watts. The battery is integrated into the down tube and removable with a key, a 36-volt 7.8-hour pack. That's 280.8 W out of energy if you do the math, and it matters for range expectations. You get a 7-speed drivetrain with a trigger shifter, mechanical disc brakes, a front suspension fork, and 26 by 2.1-inch tires. There's an LCD screen for speed, battery, and assist level, a headlight, and a rear reflector. No powered taillight on mine. Power delivery is what I expect from an entry-level hub motor. Smooth takeoff with an easy ramp, a bit stronger in the middle, and it settles at a respectable top speed. The listing claims up to 26 miles per hour, but the model style also mentions 22 miles per hour. Here's what I actually saw. Using throttle only on flat ground, I topped out around 21 to 22 miles per hour. With pedal assist on higher levels and a bit of effort, I could flirt with 23 to 24 miles per hour, and on a slight tailwind, I briefly touched 25 on the display. Real world, plan for low 20s as your normal cruising assist ceiling. The assist is cadence-based, not torque-based, which means the system kicks in when the sensor sees your pedals turning rather than how hard you push. For newcomers, that usually means a lighter, easier feel, but also a little delay when you start and stop pedaling. It's predictable after a day or two. Climbing ability is decent for city hills. I'm not talking mountain fire road climbs, I mean neighborhood grades and short punchy ramps. On a moderate hill, throttle alone will slow, and I needed to downshift and add steady pedaling to keep things humming. That's normal in this class, and the 7-speed range is fine for city use. Noise is a soft hum, audible but not annoying. Range depends heavily on how you ride. With 280 watt on board, riding in pass 3 to 5 at around 16 to 19 miles per hour, and using the throttle at stops, I've been getting between 18 and 25 miles before the last bar makes me nervous. Riding in pass 1 at lower speeds, keeping it gentle, I can stretch well past 30 miles, but that's a laid-back pace. The up to 40 miles claim makes sense, only in the lightest assist on flat routes with conservative speeds. Cold weather will cut that. Heavier riders, hills, headwinds, and frequent throttle use will cut that. If you plan a longer commute, carry the charger or plan for a top-off midday. Comfort is better than I expected at this price. The adjustable stem is the unsung hero here because it lets me dial the bar height and angle for a neutral wrist position. The saddle is fine for short to medium rides. For longer rides, I swap to a seat I know fits me. The front suspension fork is basic, but helps with potholes, curb drops, and cracked pavement. The 26 by 2.1 tires are a good match for city streets and light gravel paths. Traction is confident, and the wider profile adds stability without feeling sluggish. I've ridden it on damp asphalt and packed dirt with no drama. Braking is handled by mechanical discs. Out of the box, mine needed a couple of adjustments and a proper bed-in. After that, stopping power is adequate for city speeds. You won't get the one-finger bite of a hydraulic setup, and you do need to plan your stops a bit earlier at higher speeds, but for everyday use, it's fine. I'd keep an eye on cable stretch during the first few weeks and recenter the calipers if you hear rub. If you're heavier or ride hilly routes, upgrading pads later can be a smart, inexpensive tweak. The display is easy to read in sunlight, and the control pad is simple. You get multiple assist levels, throttle, and a walk mode, which is handy when you're off the bike and rolling it uphill. The headlight is enough to be seen, not enough to see far on a pitch-dark path. I added a brighter light and a proper rear blinker for night rides. I also threw on fenders and a rear rack. The frame handled added cargo weight without feeling twitchy. The claimed 350-pound max load seems realistic for casual use, though with heavier loads, I prefer past 2.3 to keep things stable. There's one big point I want to be clear about: model naming. Qlife uses Cityone for different configurations. There's a higher spec Cityone 2.0 out there with a 48-volt battery and a higher peak motor claim. This review is about the 36-volt version with the 750-watt peak claim. If you're shopping, match the exact battery voltage and motor rating in the listing to your expectations so you don't mix them up. It's easy to confuse the two, and that's where people get disappointed. Durability and quality control on my unit have been acceptable. Welds look clean enough, nothing feels loose or rattly after tightening, and a couple of rides, and the wheels were true after minor tweaks. I did not run into any broken parts or damaged components. That said, I've seen reports of inconsistent QC from other buyers, bent rims on arrival, misaligned forks, and slow replies from support. I didn't need to contact support, so I can't speak from direct experience there, but I'd buy from a seller with an easy return window just in case. That's my general rule for budget e-bikes. Water exposure is another area where I'm cautious. Marketing often tosses around the word waterproof, but the manual advises keeping electronics dry. I take that seriously. I've ridden through light spray and damp streets without issues, and I avoid heavy rain. The integrated battery door and ports look reasonably sealed, but I'm treating this as a fair weather ride. If you're planning all-weather commuting, budget for extra waterproofing steps, and consider a model that explicitly supports wet riding with clearer ratings. It's perfect for short to medium city commutes, campus runs, grocery trips, and recreational rides on bike paths. The easy step-over frame and adjustable fit make it approachable if you're new to e-bikes, and the integrated battery keeps the look clean and a bit stealthy. The ride quality is calm and confidence-inspiring, not twitchy, and the power delivery is friendly rather than aggressive. In my opinion, that's exactly what many riders want when they're starting out. From my experience, the Cityone shines when you keep expectations realistic. Think low 20s for speed, 15 to 25 miles for mixed-use range, and a set-it-and-forget-it daily ride with occasional cable adjustments. If you need higher speed, bigger hills, or longer range, you'll want to move up in battery voltage and motor class. If you want sharper braking feel or night ride visibility, plan on a couple of small upgrades. I'd recommend this for budget-minded commuters who don't mind a bit of DIY setup and maintenance, riders who value a comfortable, upright position with an adjustable stem, and anyone who prefers a removable battery you can charge indoors. If top-tier customer support is a must-have for you, or if you plan to ride hard in rain and expect everything to shrug it off, this may not be your match. Also, confirm you're buying the 36-volt Cityone and not expecting the punch and range of the 48-volt version. In conclusion, the Qlife Cityone Electric Bike for adults delivers solid value as a starter e-bike with a clean look, integrated battery, approachable power, and enough comfort to make daily rides easy. It asks for honest expectations around speed and range, and a little patience with basic adjustments. Treat it as a fair-weather commuter and an around-town hauler, and it pays you back with reliable, uncomplicated miles. If that sounds like your kind of riding, it's a worthy pick in this price range. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Qlife Cityone Electric Bike for adults.